to carry out the mandates that they have with the citizens. It gives them a voice, but which one gives them a stronger voice? Is it a political activism or is it mainstream activism and advocacy to members of parliament? We see that it's better to come out in the open than you use shadow accounts.
I'll begin 1, 2, 3. Ban this house will ban political activism on social media. Dear ladies and gentlemen, when I begin with advocacy to the members of the parliament as the team government has stated, we have find that these members of parliament, they have no time to actually do research about the problems that Ugandans are undergoing. It is of which we feel that these political activists, for them they do research on political science and economic science. They go and look at the problems that are cancer in Ugandans, then they come and publish it so that every person must know. Now, in this case, when they actually publish this information or what they have researched, the government actually looks it very paramount to change and then solve the problems of others. For example, when an activists have actually found that there is corruption in the government, this is the person who will come and actually expose it on actual social media. See, the government can now put some gear to fight corruption. So therefore, we believe that this cannot be banned. Actually, you say that sometimes team government believes that sometimes they don't approach the government, therefore they actually expose the information. Now, the problem in the current government is that when you take actually the critical thoughts that could help Ugandans, these governments, they always actually try to bribe you and then they hide the information, saying that the information is not exposed. Why to ban them if they are fighting for the rights of the Ugandans? We don't talk about that it causes the violence. This violence rises when actually the government have realized that this person is exposing the wrongdoing that the government is actually doing. That's where the violation comes now. It is when now the government exposes the information about what is ongoing in the government. Then we say that he says, okay, it is okay. I have to arrest him, then I have to ban him. Why that? Are they fighting for the human rights? Dear ladies and gentlemen, my dad, you can bear me witness. Actually, they talked about that they are inefficient, but I will further clear how they actually showed you that these people are actually fighting for the rights of the people, the MPs. During the time when they were actually consulting about the constitution, they were giving money, but they didn't reach people, isn't it? But these political activists, they were actually getting and gathering information from the people, which means they are efficient enough to actually find the problem that the ones are facing and then take them, expose them, see the government can change. Then ladies and gentlemen, isn't that what you are fighting for? Rights. These people are actually directly fighting for rights. When they talk about that, they can give wrong information. It cannot be. They always give clear information. Clear information that even the government can change. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually telling them, we are telling them that these people must not be banned on a condition they are operating under laws. So if they can now prove that if any activist, political activist, is operating under laws, is going to be banned, then they win this debate. But as long as the activist, the political activist is operating within the law, the person must not be banned. That's why we are actually advocating for the right of expression of speech. These people always look for the information, the problems Ugandans are facing. Then when they expose that, the government is able to actually change adequately. So that's why the violation when it came in, you know that Bosmark was actually lost. Bosmark got lost. Why? Because that you exposed information which is true, then the government had actually to work against it.
I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Panel. Our first speaker came and gave you an example of Arab Springs, whereby a marginalized person actually went on the streets and banned himself. I.e., the people got up to rise because this person did it openly, and it showed how exactly marginalized they were. What does this necessarily mean? It means that when you actually go out and step on social media, like in the Arab Springs, your views are necessarily answered, right? Like your views are necessarily answered, just like our first speaker told you. Right? We actually see that when compared to social media, there is no analysis on their side of how the views of the people are actually answered. What am I going to do in this debate? I'm going to revert to, and I'm going to tell you why our side of the house actually wins the debate. Right? They bring four main arguments. One, they have no time to do research. The parliament. That's what they address first. Then panel, we actually get that this is why they are contradicting themselves. We actually see that this is why social media is actually inefficient. Why? Because most research is got from there. So i.e., if they don't have time to do research, meaning social media itself wouldn't be efficient. While the public mainstream would be efficient because they actually go ahead to stand, meaning this would actually be delivered on news, not necessarily research, like most of it is got on social media. Two, the fight for human rights. Right? We actually see that both sides actually bring in fight for human rights. Right? On their side, we actually see that people get to out their views on social media, which necessarily doesn't mean that the government may be answered. Two, we actually see that on their side that there can be easy wrong information, which is again the third area part I'm going to respond to. It's actually wrong information, which their speaker comes and tells us, oh, it's actually impossible, right? Then panel, let's see a case scenario of COVID-19 whereby they spread the wrong information of the drugs being able to kill, like the vaccination, right? But then that's wrong information itself. That itself tells you that, oh, social media can actually deliver wrong information, meaning that there's a high likelihood of extremism, right? Extremism from their side of the house. We actually see that there is a high likelihood of wrong information because of this extremism, that people will go out and blow everything out of proportion due to this wrong information, right? They actually come and tell us, oh, there is the violence, right? Then we actually see that on their side of the house, there is more violence. How? Why? We actually see that it's a secret, right? The people do it by with a secret. What do we see? When these people, when the government gets like it's able to hack down this person, this necessary person, we actually see that they can attack them without even the people knowing that they have actually attacked them. Then what do we see on our side of the house? Because it's actually in the open, we see that the government can attack and people get to know. So i.e., the government will even be scared of attacking because this person is out in the open. Why does our side of the house actually win this debate? We actually see that we reduce legitimacy. We actually give the people a stronger voice, like the first speaker explained and the third speaker is going to explain. I respect.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen in the House, resolve. This House will ban political activism on social media. Dear judges, ladies and gentlemen, the team affirmative came here that, and we are trying to project that these people are propagandists. But our first speaker says that these people carry out thorough survey. These are the people who represent the majority, and they were proposing that the parliament and the people are based in passing the rightful information, not knowing that these parliamentarians are also politicians. Ladies and gentlemen, we as the team indicator, we are saying that these MPs also they underwent election. So underwent elections. Some of them succeeded through activism. Some of them succeeded through going to TV and telling the part of the government. That's why they succeeded in the parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, the team affirmative, they are saying that it equals to violence.
Those violence, it is caused because the government tried to block what had been published in the media. Ladies and gentlemen, they talk about loss of life. Currently in Uganda, who are losing life in the government? How many people have died out of getting the truth on the government? How many people have died? Are the activists killing themselves, or are the government trying to block the activists from publishing what is right? Ladies and gentlemen in the house, we are saying that as long as they are working within the law, they should not be banned. Therefore, these people, they work within the law. What law does it proclaim? Right of expression. It is in our constitutions. Therefore, all these activists, they work within the law. Because this being the patriotic people, and the whistleblower, we are looking for them. This whistleblower help us to give the evil act of the government, the corrupt people, so that we get awakened to know the leader we should take in the parliament. They should also, sometimes the government use their research to control the country and they rectify their problems through these activists. It is very hard sometimes to government to be against themselves. Therefore, the upcoming of these activists help the government also to rectify some of the problem. However, they are sometimes against those activists, but also their research is being used in the government to solve those problems. Ladies and gentlemen, they say that social media is insufficient, but we know that the social media is used by the majority in the country. Many people get information from the social media. Therefore, if they ban these activists, their right is being violated. Since they're working within the law, and the law states that freedom of expression in our constitution of Uganda. They said that this thing also lead to loss of life. We don't know really. They fail to specify to us that those people are going to TV to express themselves, to take the truths. Because if I'm activating, I'm trying to be an activist in the parliament. I'm trying to ensure that I expose you. Why don't you come and prove that you are right? Why do you keep quiet there? Why don't you show your positive aspect? Therefore, we rest our case.
Good afternoon. I'm going to, I'm the third speaker on the farming side. So I'll take POIs only in my second minute. Do not badger me because I will badger you back. So I'm going to start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Firstly, I'm going to give you a structure of what my speech is exactly going to look like. I'm going to give you a little bit of rebuttal. I'm going to explain to you our case, and I'm going to show you the major clashes of the debate. So firstly, the first speaker from their side, Kantian, talks about a small group of people on this social media who are actually politically educated. But then you see that this number of people who are actually politically educated are actually a smaller number compared to the vast majority that actually use these big social media platforms such as Twitter. You have a majority of people just following a hashtag just because it has over 1 million likes and views and reposts. These are people who do not know anything about political systems and then also coming in the fight for their political systems in their different countries, which is not exactly a viable cause as to why they should use social media as an activism way. Then the second speaker comes here and claims that majority of people actually use social media. But then in a country like Uganda where you have people not even affording a basic like a smartphone in their side of the case, that whereby a smartphone is actually needed for them to actually practice this type of social media activism, right? So in a country like Uganda where you have people using button phones where they can't even access any type of social media, mainstream social media such as Twitter, Instagram, and various other types of social media. So in a country like Uganda where you have such conditions, you can't expect everybody's views to be openly put out there, right? So now I'm going to go into my case. An act is justified when the benefits outweigh the harms. Why? How is that proved exactly in our case? In our case, not taken. In our case, where you have more activism, strong activism, where people actually go to the streets and fight for their change. We have seen so many times of activism where change is actually being established. In the Women's March in France, in the fight against the Gaddafi, who was a major dictator in where he was. So this is where a major change has actually been implemented, right? Instead of somebody just sitting back, laying back in their couch in their pajamas, actually fighting for a change, well, they just post a tweet and go back to sleep, and they also claim they are actually fighting for change. In a world where political activism is actually one of the fundamentals that actually lead to change in our society today, right? You can't just have people who are quite possible, not politically educated enough, not willing to stand up and take the change that's actually needed to actually fight for their rights. That's where their side of the house is in this debate. So in a scenario where a need for change is vital and certain measures need to be taken, we have seen it in the past, in the guerrilla war in our very own Uganda, in the fight against the Gaddafi, in the women's march in France. This is where actual change has been implemented. Instead of a hashtag coming along, and next thing we know, some other entertainment news has already broken down the fight, has actually lowered the actual important issues in the world today just because Kim Kardashian posted a picture of her in a bikini, right? So social media is very distracting. You have people with barely enough information coming on here and actively in the name of activism, right? So most of the information in a way is propaganda, whereby it's not even filtered, it's not even viable, and with that I'm proud of
Panel, we will only accept their case if they give us a genuine alternative. Now, what they come and say, I would try to tell them the importance of this, we try to tell them the importance of this, we try to tell them the importance of this political activism that's going on in social media. We try to show them the reason as to why most of these people go ahead to do this political, why these people go ahead to go on the medias to reveal all their thoughts. Moreover, we try to show to them how much these people maybe couldn't access, like they came and told us. And in the first place, so to begin with, like I said, we only accept their case if they gave us a to social media, to political activism on social media. Now what they come and tell us, they are saying instead of political activism, let us adopt, let people go and use mainstream medias such as TVs and radios. But then on the contrary again, the same people came and tell us that people shouldn't use smartphones and that people in Uganda can't afford smartphones. That's why this political activism on social media cannot be achieved effectively because people can't afford smartphones. So now my question is, if a person can't afford a smartphone, will he afford a TV station, a TV or 500,000 shillings? Will he afford to pay all the electric bills that associated? So for that person, feel really, the alternative does not stand. And not only that, they also come and tell us that social media, that mainstream medias are more effective than the political, than the social media platforms. But then we ask them a question now. Then our point is, what makes these medias? I mean, what makes social media? This what makes these TVs more effective than social medias. So I think they tell us that in the first place, there are regulations being put in place. So they tell them now, if the regulations being put in place, don't you think if the same regulations are put on social media, the same impact of the political social of this political, social activism on social media can be achieved. So for the case, we believe that things like cyber security in the first place that can help to govern and security on social media. So that they're saying instead of running away these political social activists, let us instead put up better guidelines. Let us put up improvement cyber security on social media. Let us improve the regulation on social media so that can limit people from participating, from bringing up some kind of information. And then they come and tell us that people should instead go through the members of parliament. But I'm telling you guys, the people that they're trying to raise their voice against are the same politicians. So now how can we use the same politicians whom we're having satisfactions about but get out of use? So really the alternative of the MPs never works out because these MPs are the real targeted people we are trying to go against. And then not only that, I would come and tell them that I'll rest my case.
Thank you so much for that wonderful debate. I will now allow the opposition speaker to come with the reply speech and finish.
are going in Uganda. Therefore, if President actually, if Honorable Chagwen comes up and exposes what is in the politics, the people who are kidnapped, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, therefore you find such a person, the person who is fighting for the rights of the minorities who are voiceless. Can you imagine? I really don't agree with the team of government because they don't wish to fight for their rights. Dear panel, the point of a clash that they claim is inefficient because they believe these people are in small numbers, right? But however, team opposition tells you that these people make research and actually discloses the information on the social media. Again, they ask a question that a button phone cannot access social media. Now, people have televisions, people have have radios, people can access newspapers. Currently, you will find that the information which is exposed is actually the corruption which took place in Maracha district because of signaling of the money for PDMs. The government isn't going to put work upon it. When the information was disclosed, the government started working hard to fight and mitigate corruption. Is that what you want, dear ladies and gentlemen? Actually, do you know that the stakeholders that you are actually looking into this case are the Ugandans who are considered as the voiceless? Therefore, these people are coming up to fight for them. These people are coming up to actually see that the voiceless people can actually access the human rights. Dear ladies and gentlemen, when they talked about giving the propaganda, the violation, who has never seen policemen of Uganda beat up people because of nothing? Carrying the manhood of Chakulani, why? That is the violation which is in the government. Therefore, when it is exposed, you ban them. We give them a condition. As long as these people are operating within the law, they must not be banned. Proud to oppose.
Thank you so much, team opposition. I will now request team government to come and close their case. Here, here.
I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Panel, from our first speech, we actually see that we have in mainstream activism and not mainstream media. So I did not actually get what side affirmative is bringing in their first and last case. Sorry, in their second, in their reply speech and last case. Panel, what am I going to do in this speech? I'm going to identify the main clashes of this debate, right? First, which side of the house actually comes extremism, right? We actually see that we brought in the point of extremism, whereby there is a highlighting of this going out because of the misinformation, right? And the blow is out of proportion, right? We actually received no response from their side of the house. What do we actually see? On our side of the house, when we first speak to the last speaker, we actually see that there is less extremism because there is no misinformation through mainstream activism, right? The second question, which side of the house actually gives a stronger voice, right? They actually say that, how do they respond to this? They actually say that, the people find corruption and they actually put it on social media, right? What do we actually see? From our first speaker to last speaker, this has actually been proof that this is not actually listened to. I.e., the government does not necessarily take it seriously. But then on our side of the house, you actually see that the government actually has a mandate to take it seriously because it's physical, right? I.e., we gave the case scenario of the Arab Springs whereby they took the case seriously because they had gone physical, right? Which side of the house, the fact is, which side of the house actually proves more safety? On their side of the house, they come and tell us, there is actually violence because violence on our side of the house. Then what do we actually see? Like I told you in my second speech, there's a high likelihood of this thing, since the person is unknown, the government can exterminate them easily because they are not really known. Whereas on our side of the house, it's hard for the government to exterminate them or kidnap them like what came in the reply speech, or kidnap them because they are physical. And acts only justifying the benefits actually outweigh the harms. And on our side, the benefits of mainstream activism automatically outweigh the benefits of political activism on social media. This is why panel should vote for our side on this in this meeting.
Wow, thank you so much for that wonderful debate, speakers. And we shall wait for the team that is going to make it to finals. It is going to be announced later on. But thank you so much. It was indeed a tough debate, and you are all good. You just fight to us why you are in semi-finals, okay? So anything that, I don't know, but if you don't make it to finals, we also thank God that you made it semi-finals and you are able to show us the show. So we have been entertained. Thank you so much.